everyone, welcome to week 2. For week 2, there are 3 assignments. The first assignment is exam 1. Exam 1 is open all day Thursday. This means that it opens up at 12:01 a.m. and closes at 11:59 p.m. You'll have 90 minutes to take the exam, and once you start the exam, you will not be able to stop the exam. So this means that the time will continue to run throughout that 90 minutes as soon as you start the exam. There are 12 questions, a mix of true, false, and short answer. When you answer these short answer questions, make sure that you are using correct grammar, syntax, and punctuation, as you will lose points if there are egregious errors. The next thing that you should do is your second discussion board post. Just like you did last week with your short 30 to 45 second video, you'll do another one for this week as well. It is open on Thursday through Sunday. So you'll have several days to upload your short video and respond to 2 of your classmates as well. And you'll see the prompt there under discussions for week 2. The third assignment is your first speech. It is your informative speech. You can find the assignment under assignments on the left tab as well. But I will go through the assignment as well to give you a little bit more details and backgrounds. So the first speech is an informational interview. So this means that you'll need to interview someone that has a full-time job. Right? So I know everyone has a specific major. We all pretty much know what we want to do right after graduation. But like most of us, including myself, what I went to school to do isn't what I actually have been doing for the last 6 years of my career. So many of us change jobs throughout our sort of 30-year career, and we don't always stay in that one career field, right? Even though we may have gone to school to do that for 30 years, we may not end up doing it for 30 years. And so this is an opportunity for you to interview someone in a career field that maybe you hadn't thought about before. So you can get some background and details about what exactly that job entails. So you'll need to interview someone that has a full-time job. This means that they work at least 40 hours a week there. They can be a friend, a family member, a current boss, anyone that has a full-time job. And in your interview, you will use the text from chapters 7 to help give you information on what exactly is an informational interview. And chapter 7 will also give you possible questions that you can ask during your informational interview. The questions that you ask can come from the book, or they can also just be questions that you've thought of. So they don't have to be the ones that are in the book. The book is just giving you a sounding board for possible questions that you can ask. And right now I'm taking a look at the assignment. I've just printed off, so if you see me looking down, I'm just sort of scanning it so I can highlight some of the information that's on here as well. So it says with chapter 7, the guidelines for coming up with questions are going to be found on pages 205 and 206. The interview should only last about 15 minutes. So during your 15 minutes, you're going to ask several questions, and so then you're going to have to turn that information that you've learned into a speech. Your speech is only going to be 4 to 5 minutes long. In your speech, you're not just simply saying, I asked this question and they said this. Right? Instead, you probably want to use the questions that gave you the most information and turn those questions into 2 or 3 main points. So for example, maybe I asked a question about what does their job entail, what are the normal hours, who is the ideal candidate, and the future outlook, right? So that's just 4 questions, but maybe for only 2 of those questions did I get a lot of information from my interviewee. So I'm just going to use instead 2 of those questions that I've asked and turn them into main points. So in my speech, right, I would say something like this. In my speech today, I'm going to talk about what the job entails and the future outlook. So this is just an example of how you would turn the questions that you asked into the main points, right? You can combine different questions under one umbrella main point, but make sure that you don't have more than 3 main points or ideas that you're going to cover in your speech. You aren't doing any additional research for this presentation. You are simply reporting back what you learned from your interview with your interviewee. No visual aids are permitted for this assignment as far as PowerPoints and Prezis and that sort of thing. Also, you should dress in business casual attire. It's a lot easier to identify what is not business casual, and so I've included a list of things to not wear on your speech day that you can find in the assignments folder as well. You will lose points if you decide to wear something that is on the do not wear list. You will lose points, so make sure that you are dressing in correct attire for your speech day. You should have a 3/4 shot. So this pretty much means that when you record your speech, that it should show at least your knees up to the top of your head. You will need 2 audience members for this speech as well. You cannot edit this speech, so it should be a live speech. Right? I understand when creating videos, you may want to stop and start again, which I have done several times already with this own video, but you will not be able to record it and then edit it, right? So it has to be a live speech that you do in front of 2 audience members. You should place the camera behind your 2 audience members. I don't need to see their faces. I just need to see sort of their shoulders or their backs to know that you are actually giving your speech to people and not just to stuffed animals or to an empty room. Let's see here. There are more details about sort of the camera angle and where might be the best place to place it on the assignment page as well. You will need to upload a full sentence outline along with your speech. In the past, I've used the discussion board thread for you to upload your speech and your outline, but this semester, I'm just going to ask that you upload your video to Drive and share it with me. You may also upload your speech outline to Drive as well and share that with me, as that will probably be the easiest sharing mechanism since iSpartan is a Google account, right? There is going to be an example of a full page outline and what you should use and type in that full sentence outline. I'll give you an example to look at on Canvas, but you should also use chapter 11 and figure 11.6a as a reference to what it should look like. I also need your interviewee's contact information. So this means their name and their email address. I will get in contact with them after the interview to thank them for their time. So let's sum up. For week 2, right, you've got to take your first exam, do your second discussion board post, and lastly, start working on your informative speech. Right? If you have any further questions, feel free to email me, and can't wait to see some of your videos. Have a great week.